wonderful, great evening right here from Nairobi, from the Campde Voices. Hello and welcome to the debate night hosted by the Campde Voices. And of course, as we promised, we'll be bringing these debates live right from our offices here and seeking to engage different people across the whole country. Of course, these are debates seeking to have different young people across the whole country, young professionals, teachers, students, religious leaders, doctors, and everyone, because this is who we are. We are saying as a panel that we are taking the direction of agreeing to disagree, that together we can come, discuss issues and differ, but keep friendship, find the pros and the cons of every side. And of course, tonight, we have a very interesting topic. The civil protests and demonstrations are the sure way to solving corruption, or civil protests and demonstrations are the sure way to fighting corruption. This is a very critical topic at a time like this in Kenya. You all know what has been happening. You've been watching the live parliamentary proceedings recently. You remember the Campde scandal. Remember all the scandals which were covered last year in 2020, 2019, that even some newspapers are quoting that Kenya has a scandal per week. And they are no longer scandals of thousands of shillings. They are scandals. They're no longer thousands of 1 million shillings or 2 million shillings. We are now talking of billions. And for that reason, I'm joined on a panel by young, amazing people. But before introducing them, let me just state some rules which are very important on this discussion. That every speaker has been thoroughly briefed, that every speaker was reached out and informed of the topic days earlier, that the two speakers from both sides were introduced to each other and made to reach out to each other and train together, that every speaker is aware that the videos and the production that we are doing here are going to be released, just of course, by Campde Voices, and that they're all aware that we're doing this for the sake and the benefit of our own country. So the structure of the debate, how it's going to work, that every speaker at the beginning will have a minute each to give an introduction statement. We'll then move to the second segment where we'll have each speaker having 4 minutes to defend their arguments. Then we'll have the third stage where now we'll allow the members of the audience to raise their questions to the speakers. Then now the fourth segment will allow we'll give 3 minutes to every team to address the questions which have been raised. Then finally we go to the closing statement, that is 1 minute each. Now on stage, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome 4 amazing debaters across the whole country. And these are the people that are helping us to discuss this topic this week. On the proposing side, to say that civil protests and demonstrations are the sure way to solving corruption or to dealing with corruption in our country and in our region, we have Wilder Nyagoha and Lennox Kimathi. Wilder Nyagoha is a former student of Tigoi and currently studying at the Cooperative University here in Nairobi, doing supplies management. We have Lennox Kimathi, who is currently a student studying law at the University of Nairobi, and of course, a former student and a wonderful debater, such a powerful orator from the Alliance High School. I have to mention that because if I don't do that, I know what is likely to come. Then on the opposing side, we have Miss Dorcas Lungashi. Dorcas Lungashi is a former student of St. George's Girls High School here in Nairobi. She was a debater there, proceeded to the university, and currently she is a poet and also ventured into doing medicine, and of course, so many other things that she'll tell us later. On the same opposing side, we have Derek Quere, one of the most powerful debaters and public speakers I've also known right from Kibra, from Olympic High School. He was a school president. He was the best public speaker and orator in the year 2016, if I get it right. And today, they are joining us on this panel as debaters. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage the first speaker from the proposing side. Is that Wilder Nyagoha or Lennox Kimathi? Kindly, I'll be your host, Okoth Opondo from Campde Voices. Karibuni sana. Wilder Nyagoha or Lennox? One of you?
Hello.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. I'm a very disturbed fella where 2 billion shillings in my country is being lost in corruption, yet there is nothing we can do about it. This is an open secret where corruption is the main thing affecting our country. I just want to bring into the picture what is demonstration. Demonstration, this is just a group of people campaigning against something who are very just non-violent. When we are talking about the sure way, we are not saying it is the only way. What we are trying to say is that it is the best way to fight this corruption in our country. Now, what are the causes of corruption? According to a research done by the United Nations Convention of Corruption, we are being told that corruption in Africa, it is a swing between two sectors. That is the political and the economic sector, where they are all both related equally in this corruption thing. Now, corruption in our country has been devolved up to the municipality, where I have to bribe a chief to get a bursary. Now, follow us keenly as we guide you through this and tell you why we are saying that demonstration is the sure way in fighting this corruption. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilda. Who is going first in the opposing side? Is it Derek or Lungashi? It is Lungashi. Thank you. Lungashi, go. You can unmute. Your 1 minute begins now, Lungashi.
My name is Kidaka Dorcas Lungashi, opposing the motion that states civil protests. My name is Kidaka Dorcas Lungashi, a pharmaceutical technologist, opposing the motion that states civil protests and demonstrations are the sure ways to fight corruption. I refuse to believe that our forefathers, Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi, died in the hands of colonialists for us to have our independence, only for the Kenyan youth decades later to die in the hands of a Kenyan law enforcer in the name of protest and demonstration. I dare to state that the average Kenyan law enforcer does not understand the term peaceful demonstration. And in fact, I challenge the proposers to show me a successful peaceful protest, and in turn, I'll give them valid data on the number of Kenyans who have lost their lives and even got maimed, all in the name of going to the streets and demonstrating. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lungashi. That is such a mature point. I'm just wondering why we are going to leave you out. So let me head to the second speaker, the proposing side. That now should be Lennox. Lennox, your 1 minute begin now, sir.
Yes, good evening to you all. And apparently, I do believe that there's nothing good with this evening. The only good thing that we have this evening is that we are alive to begin with. Thank you, God, for making sure that we are alive to see this day where we citizens of this country are crying every day of money that is being lost each and every day in this country. I mean, we are talking about 2 billion shillings here. And in that, this is a sure thing that happens every day. I want to tell you literally what it means to be sure. In reference to this motion, I want us to state our ground clearly, because we are saying that civil protests and demonstrations are the sure way to fight corruption. We're not saying that they are the only ways, but we're saying that they're the sure way. There's the certain ways. They are the ways that can give us the results that we want. And in reference to that, join me and my lovely wife, Wilda, as we do this. Thank you very much.
Wow. Now already the debating partners have turned into couples. What an amazing couple. That is Lennox from the Alliance High School. Now we head to the second speaker, the opposing side. Derek, take it away. Okay, Derek, now you can unmute yourself. Go on. Your 1 minute begins now. Go on. Your 1 minute begins now.
Good evening to you all. My name is Derek Were, and I'm here as a mental health advocate, and I'm an abiding citizen of Kenya. I am here strongly today to oppose this motion, not because I believe in corruption, but because I believe in the right ways of fighting a menace. I am here to defend myself, to defend my country, and to also defend those who want to be defended. I'm here to oppose this motion, to remind you that there have been better ways to solve issues, and violence has never been the way. I know our proposers are saying demonstration and protest is the sure way, but we are here again to remind them that there are other sure ways for us to fight this menace. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek. Just as Derek has reminded us all, the topic we are talking about tonight is the civil protest and demonstration is the sure way to fight corruption in a country or in a region like ours. Let me head now straight to the proposing side, because now we are getting into the real body of this debate, and we are asking ourselves, civil protests and demonstrations, are these the sure way to fighting corruption in a country like ours? That Lennox believes that corruption is wrong, Derek believes that corruption is wrong, Lungashi believes that corruption is wrong, and Wilde, of course, he also believes that corruption is wrong. Let's go to the first proposing, to the proposing side. First speaker, you may have your 4 minutes. Who is going first? Is it Wilde or Lennox? Who is going first?
Wilder is.
Okay, Wilde is going first. So Wilde, if you're going first, your 4 minutes begin now.
Okay, thank you. So what I was trying to bring clear to the people is that when you talk about civil protest or demonstration, this is just a group of people campaigning against something who are non-violent. So I don't know why Were is using the term that if we allow these, people are going to be violent. That is the problem of having a single story. That is the problem of being closed-minded. Now, what I was trying to say is the Kenyan government should be comfortable with being uncomfortable in tackling their issues. And what is the best way of making them uncomfortable? It is by us going to the street or even our social media platform and keeping them awake. How are you going to keep them awake? It is by knocking on them, knocking on their doors and telling them, no, you have to be transparent. No, you have to be accountable for every penny that you are taking as a tax from us. I don't know which way can be used, yet Kenyan government has been using the court way. In the court way, the NYS scandal, not even a single person has been arrested up to date because of being corrupt. The Afia scandal, not even a single person has been arrested. I am saying that we should use the civil protest as a sure way in fighting this corruption. A good example is the Hong Kong. Yeah, most of you don't know about the story. Let me tell you. In the 1960s and the 1950s, Hong Kong was one of the most corrupt states in the world. Why? Because the government was so powerless in controlling corruption in that state. What did people do? People got fed up. Even just having data, you had to be corrupt. Taking a patient to the hospital, you had to bribe the doctors in order to treat your patient. Was that right? No. What these people did, they went to the street and said, enough to corruption, enough to our government controlling these cartels in our government. By the people involving themselves with the government, slowly, Hong Kong isn't the corruption state in that country. And up to now, Hong Kong is the most successful state in the world where they have fought 90% of corruption. We go to Africa, that is Zimbabwe. You all know how Robert Mugabe just fed us up. I don't know, more than 2 decades in the government doing nothing. Corruption was there, no accountability, no transparency. But people going to the street and protesting, that is when Zimbabwe saw light. That is when Zimbabwe got a president who could bring light in that nation. South Africa, a good country like South Africa, had a president who wanted to tarnish the name of that country because of allowing corruption, even he himself being corrupt. Then what happened? There is power in people. Why am I saying so? Because of people, right now, South Africa, they're smiling. It's not corrupt. Then why should we shy off as Kenyans and not going to the street, not going to social media by saying that no, NYS, we want to see those people who stole our money. No, we want to see these politicians who are taking our money. because it is our right for us to know how our money is being spent in this government. It is my right to know why is 2 billion Kenya shillings being lost every day, yet I am suffering. I cannot afford 100 shillings of credit just to attend my online class because of somebody in the government stealing my money. I cannot do my exam in the university. The university claims that she does not have money just because of people in the government stealing my cash.
Thank you. Thank you, Wilda.
Thank you.
That is so passionate presentation from example from Nairobi to Hong Kong to Zimbabwe and everywhere. I'm just wondering how the opponents are going to attack these and how they are going to tackle these points. So Lungashi, because we are obeying the format of the debate, we are from the first speaker of the proposing side, that is Wilda. Now we head to the first speaker of the opposing side. Lungashi, if you can hear me, Lungashi, you can hear me when the gods are still on your side. Can you go on?
Yes, I can hear you.
Go on. Your 4 minutes begin right now, madam.
Okay. So in a population whereby 84% of the working population is unemployed, according to Project Infinity Africa data, and in which only 2.9% of the employed population earns above the 100,000, according to Africa's Pocket data, the gap between the rich and the poor continues to grow daily. It is very discouraging to watch the news and hear your president admit that daily 2 billion shillings is lost to corruption. The Kenyan citizen is angry, and we have all the right to be angry. Psychology states that human nature reaction to anger is protest. I hope to convince you that protest is never the answer, that protest cannot be the best way, and that there are other sure ways that we can use to fight this menace. My first point is to amend the system and the constitution. It is possible to create a system whereby that if you want to have your passport in 5 days, 3 days, it is possible. Make it legal and make it in part of the system, whereby somebody wants to get their passport in 5 days because they're in a hurry. They don't have to cut corners or speak with people behind the offices or grease this palm, give someone some money. Make the process legal. You want your passport in 5 days, you'll get it, but you'll pay more. It is happening in New Zealand and it is very successful. I suggest that we have a one-stop shop for all grants and permits. If you want your business permit, your driver's license, if your car has been clamped by the city council, it can all be released within 2 hours, 3 hours in a legal process. The Huduma Center can be improved to accommodate this. I do not understand why we have to go through a very rigorous process, and sometimes we just believe that it is better we bribe than to go through this difficult process. If you're caught on a Friday and now you have to be released on a Monday, no, provide a system whereby yes, I'll be released on that Friday, even though I'll pay more. Make it legal, make it documented. Let the people pay by mobile money to catch the cases of corruption. It's a very viable method. It is working in New Zealand and it can work in Kenya. My second point is for us to work with petitions so that we can improve the way people are working together. I believe that through petitions and technology, we can improve the situation in our country, where we have citizens in a very legal manner to sign petitions and present them to the people in charge. We elected them for a reason. The numbers that we give them the power that they misbehave with. It is about time that we take responsibility, and as youth, we let go of the general apathy to our country. We say that as long as it doesn't affect me, I'm not dealing with this, but we can sign these petitions in a legal way and by the use of technology, where we can even create apps to sign these petitions. So I'm at the comfort of my house, but I can fight for the end of FGM, the end of corruption, just through my mobile device. It is very possible, and we have amazing people in the IT industry that we can work together and improve this. I believe that through these petitions, we can sign them online and have them presented to the leaders in the right places. And we can use technology, the financial apps, to take charge and to record and follow the money that is being spent. Like we can follow public money and public funds to ensure that we know where everything is going. We know where our money is being spent. We can ensure this through the use of technology and applications. point is on political goodwill and pledge. Allow me to state that it is not right for civil servants to have privatized business. We should make it clear that for you to be a politician or to work in political stage, you should forget all dreams of ever having a private business or a private organization. The fight against corruption can only be won if the leaders make it their core business to fight for our rights, because that is why we elect them into that seat. We give them the power to rule us, not the power to improve their businesses. And once we have a rule that if you want to vie for a public seat, forget any entrepreneur or business related aspirations that you have, so that we can avoid all this monopoly. And we can work with these leaders to sign pledges to ensure that once you're a leader, we monitor even your accounts, that you're not allowed to have offshore accounts. This is the only way we can manage the illicit financial flows, where we have people sending money to other countries. You are in Kenya, but you have billions stashed in Canada. We can work with international organizations, and this has worked in Kosovo, whereby the leaders are root and they are seen through, that you cannot have your money in other accounts, in offshore accounts. And we can do this in a very permissible manner that everybody can get what they want. My
Thank
third
you.
point
Thank
is
you,
that
Lungashi, allow me cut you short. Allow me cut you short. Actually, I've given you. Yeah, you can mute. Kindly mute. Thank you so much, Lungashi.
Kindly mute.
Very well. So Lungashi has raised some very interesting points, and I also, as I was mentioning before, I was saying that I've given Lungashi 2 additional minutes during that time because of the struggle that she has had. And Lungashi, thank you very kindly for all the amazing points that you've brought up. I see people saying that lady is on fire. Probably the people who what was denying her the opportunity of speaking up are the opponents. Walikuwa wamemwendea kwa watu wangwana. Okay, sawa sawa. Second speaker, proposing side. Who is that? That should be Lennox. Second speaker, proposing side. Your 4 minutes begin right now, sir.
I believe that right now, in Dedan Kimathi's tomb, he is crying over a state that he fought for, crying over a state that he really, really combated for salvation of the state. He's really, really wailing in his grave because the country that he fought for has been ruined by those who took over after him. That is in respect of our fallen heroes. Because I believe that this country is a shame. This country is a disgust. This country is a mere fallback of all the good things that these people have done. I really, really felt disgusted when Lungashi is talking of Kosovo, yet she's a Kenyan. I really, really want to welcome you to the country Kenya. Welcome to Kenya, where before you land in the country, you have to sign papers showing what you have come with from external countries. You have to sign what it is that you've brought into the country. And even at that time, how many goods do we have banded in Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, all in the name of donations that have not been paid taxes for? I mean, where else do we have that donations are being paid taxes for? The issue of COVID, just recently, I believe that Lungashi, maybe you are somewhere, let me just assume that it stood up wherever you are, that the day is not clear enough for you to see the clarity in case. That for you to analyze and critically see that we really do have problems in this country. Corruption. We are saying that it is the sure way. Civil protest as a sure way in fighting this corruption. Article 37 of the Constitution of Kenya. Legality of civil protest. Legality. Whereby we are told that every Kenyan, every citizen has a right to peacefully and unarmed assemble, picket, and to present his petition before the parliament or before any part in this country. Now, I believe that all of you know of the Constitution of Kenya. The opposers are arguing in such a way as if that as if they don't really get wind of what the Constitution is. This is the supreme law of the land, coupled with the Public Order Act. It allows you peacefully to go out there and show these people that we are not okay with what is happening. I mean, we're not talking of a matter of shillings being lost here every day. We're talking of billions, Lungashi. I believe that Were at this point should have seen the light. Maybe wherever he is, there's more light as opposed to Lungashi's area. Because in this very, very, very day, 2 billion shillings. I'm really glad that you appreciated that 2 billion shillings are getting lost every day. I mean, 2 billion shillings, not 200 shillings or 2,000 shillings or 200,000 shillings at the expense of the normal citizen. Somebody is flying out of the country with your money every day, yet you are comfortably saying that it is okay. So long as it does not affect me, I will not be party to it. How? As a youth of this country, you should be ashamed. You should actually denounce the position and uphold the spirituality of the Constitution. In the spirit of the Constitution, I want to tell you that if you were to apply these methods of legality, number one.
Lennox, time is up, sir.
Come on, 2 minutes. It will only be fair.
Okay.
I'm only getting started.
Let me give, no, you are not getting started. The 4 minutes are done, but let me give you 30 seconds, sir, because you still have more minutes. You'll come back later to explain.
All right. What we are saying is simply that I want to state our ground very clearly. Lungashi has given us ways of fighting corruption, which is very good, which is very, very excellent actually, but they are not the sure ways of fighting corruption. We are endowed and eaten up by the notion of man is to err, whereby man just sits comfortably at his place, provided he's comfortable himself and there's nothing else that he is garnering for. When we have people up there, you're talking about us electing leaders up there who will go to present us, yet they will actually go there and sit comfortably, eating whatever you work for. I mean, why do we even celebrate Labor Day anymore? We celebrate the sweat of millions of citizens who toil every day to make sure that they have something to eat, to make sure that the economy of this country does not crumble and fall. But where does this money go? Where does all this money go? Just into the pockets of some few rich people in this country.
Okay, right, Lennox, I think I'm fair enough at that point. Let me now move to the second speaker, the opposing side. Lennox, forgive me for that, but we also have just to obey the time. I've added you already more than 30 seconds. So we head to the second speaker, the opposing side. I believe that is Derek Were.
Thank you so much, and may the soul of Dedan Kimathi rest in peace. Let me start. Our opposers, or rather our proposers, have clearly showed us what they believe. And our discussion is nothing to do with whether there is corruption or there is no corruption. Our discussion is how can we curb corruption? And let me correct my worthy proposers who I am seeing a big contrast. Lennox is saying we should not give examples from other countries, when Nyagoha went ahead to give an example of South Africa, and she even stated that South Africa has improved in terms of corruption. Well, according to Corruption Perception Index, South Africa is ranked position 44. I don't know what she means by South Africa is a corrupt-free nation. Anyway, let us come to our conversation. The discussion is civic protests and demonstrations are the sure way to curb corruption. Let me bring it closer home. When you tell me a sure way, it is simply telling me dating somebody who is 26-year-old is the sure way to marriage, that you don't have to date somebody who is other ages. But we are here today to say demonstration can never be the sure way. We have been part and parcel of this country for way too long, and we know what demonstrations has done to our country. And when I think of demonstration, I think of 2017 post-election violence. We know what happened. We lost so many lives. When I think of demonstrations, I think of us losing Baby Pendo. I think of so many other Kenyans. When I think of post-election, when I think of demonstrations, I remember the Monday tear gas that sparked our country in the year 2016. We all know what happened. And the next question is, What happened after all these protests and demonstrations in our country? Did we achieve what we wanted to achieve? That is a question that we need to ask ourselves. I will quote Nelson Mandela, who once said during the show that he was hosted by Oprah Winfrey, that if we let our emotions run our blood, our country will go up in flames. Nelson Mandela had been imprisoned for 27 years, but he came out of that prison knowing that the only way to solve issues is to sit down with their masters. And I'll remind you that hunters have learned to shoot without missing, and you have to learn, birds have also learned to fly without missing. As time goes by, we must learn better ways on doing things. Let me first of all tell you something, that we are not saying we don't want demonstrations, but we are saying we have other options other than demonstration. Number one, our issue is civic engagements. What is civic engagements? These are discussions where guys are enlightened more about their rights, political rights, and knowing the need to participate fully in political processes. This has been an issue. How is it a matter of fact in this discussion? Number one, we are having corruption because we are having incompetent leaders. We are having incompetent leaders because we are not electing the right leaders. We are not electing the right leaders because we don't fully understand our constitution. You have even actually highlighted Article 37 of the Constitution, which I highly commend you. But do we really do peaceful demonstrations? Are we the only pagans in Jerusalem not to understand the kind of demonstrations we always see in our country? That is not the case. We have seen protests that have led to bloodshed. We have seen protests that has led to loss of lives. It has led to property loss, and that has always been the case. Secondly, those protests are always championed by politicians. They are not community driven. That's why we're saying civic engagement. If you empower your people more on these ideologies, they will know when and why they should fight corruption. The other thing that I want to highlight is collaboration. I said it right, collaboration. Our masters are too many. Somebody mentioned that each year we are losing, or rather each day we are losing 2 billion to corruption. The president himself acknowledged we are losing 2 billion to corruption each day. The president of the country acknowledged we are losing 2 billion every day. It itself shows you that corrupt individuals in our government are more than the less corrupt individuals in our country. And you cannot fight if you don't collaborate with people who are bringing our economy down to ashes.
Derek,
All
you
I'm
have
saying,
15 seconds to go, sir.
as an opposer, all I'm saying is there comes a time when we have to rise above our ego. We have to rise above our emotions so that we can dialogue with those who are taking our country to ashes so that we can find better solutions. The only way for us to kill corruption is to come to a table. The only way for us to fight corruption is to agree that there are ways which are better than what we think should always be the case each year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Derek. Thank you, Lennox, Lungashi, and Wilder. Now we're done with the first two segments of this great debate. Just to remind you all that we are live on the Campde Voices Facebook page. All the 28 of you who are in this room and others, you can together go there and share. I've already shared the link with you right here in the comment section. Please pick the link, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a neighbor to tell a cousin and all your exes that we are live and the discussion is going on. Let me just hear what people are saying very fast. Nani's guitar is saying, for me, I wouldn't mind losing blood to save this country. We need to protest since the judiciary ain't doing its work well. Moffat Muriki is saying, I think that what Lennox said was crystal clear. So I don't see the need of debating while Lennox said it all. So Moffat is saying, let us kill the debate. Lennox has said everything. Sandy Kennedy is saying, Opondo, hope you're well. I like the insights. Corruption is a menace that's eating our country. We have become prisoners of our own captivity. Moffat saying, fantastic. Boazinho Ogala, why lose blood in demonstration, yet there's a power of negotiation? We don't wish to see blood unless it is really necessary. Eric Okumu at Wilder, as a scientist, history defines our future. How did the Hong Kong protest against corruption lead directly to curbing corruption in China? That is, were there legislations, etc.? How does this help us achieve the same in Kenya? Amazing people. Now, at this juncture, at this point, I want to allow the members of audience who are here with us in this virtual hall to pose their questions. Just raise up your hand straight away. I'll unmute you and give you an opportunity. Send your question to the proposing side or to the opposing side. Remember the motion that we are having tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because we are live here. The motion that we are having tonight, civil protest and demonstration, the sure way to fighting corruption. Lennox and Wilder Nyago are telling us, you know what, that is the sure way of fighting corruption. Derek and Lungashi are saying, wait a moment, guys. That is not the way to fight corruption. We have other better ways. Let's go to boardrooms. Let's use technology. Let's use all that. You, the one who is listening and following keenly at home, wherever you are, what do you think? What do you think about these motions? Civil protests and demonstrations are the sure way to fight corruption. Any questions from the audience? In absence of any question, I'll allow the panelists to cross-examine each other. Any question, you just raise your hand or just indicate on the comment section. I'll see it straight away and get in touch with you. We just bring you straight to the panel. Is that Don Shambok? Don Shambok, you got a question? Let me see. Don Shambok, you have a question there with you. So, Don, you can go on. You can unmute and ask your question, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Don Chambox. I have a question to Lungashi.
Okay.
Yeah, Lungashi, earlier on you talked about nailing these people who are involved in corruption cases with regards to the offshore accounts. But you see, like these people, most of the accounts where they invest their money.
Just push your question very fast, kindly. Just the question bit.
Yeah. How will you do this? And we have seen that, like countries like Switzerland, in which these people invest their money in, they have a very secretive and organized banking system. And you know, these politicians, they maybe when they invest their money in offshore accounts, it changes currency. We have seen the issue with the cryptocurrency. So now, when you say that the corruption cases can be pinpointed with regards to the offshore accounts, how do you plan on doing this? And the government has been trying to do this, and we haven't seen it working.
Oh, okay.
Now, yeah.
I think, Don, your question is very clear. Thank you so much. Eric Justin, you are unmuted. Kindly go on, sir. Eric Justin.
Thank you so much, Opondo. So I had two questions to ask. One was on the proposing and the opposing. So this one goes directly to Wilder. Wilder said,
yes, and
that,
Eric, can kindly suggest that you be brief with the question. Just go straight to the question.
Yeah. So she talked about causes. Yeah.
Yes.
So I was asking myself, with the respect to the causes that she highlighted, how then is protesting and demonstration an impediment to corruption? Number one. Number two, to Lugashi and Derek, they talked about civic education. So, as the Kenyan population, have we reached to? Do we have this the change in mindset in order to curb corruption? And secondly, in their own opinion, do they think that with the proposals they make, can we have legislations passed without corruption? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric Justin. Thank you. You can unmute. I believe they've understood your question. Let's go to Christine Musandu. Christine Musandu, you are on the call. Christine Musandu.
Okay, mine is not a question. I generally just wanted to comment regarding the two teams. We have seen the yes team. They say yes, but we need them to also give us some of the, mention some of the Kenyan constitution where demonstrations, the clauses of the Kenyan constitutions that talk about demonstrations. What do they say? And for the other team, yeah, they are trained. They can also just give, they should give more of examples to support their statements. It's a very difficult topic.
Sure. Thank you so much. Andrew Musyoka, you are on the call, sir. Andrew Musyoka. Your
Yes,
video,
thank you very much.
your video and audio kindly, so that for the beautification of the screen.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a simple question, brother. My question is to the proposers. What do you expect to happen after a civil protest? What do you expect to happen after civil protest or after several civil protests? That's my question.
Thank you so much, my brother. That is Andrew. Thank you for joining. Annette Akoth, if you are here, Annette Akoth, you are on the call. Annette Akoth. Okay, Annette is not here with us. Let's go to Eric Otieno.
I'm
Okay,
here.
okay, Annette Akoth, go on. Annette
I have
Akoth.
a question. I have a question to Derek. Since according to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, 608 billion is lost annually. Don't you think the ways you have listed to fight corruption is slower and ineffective?
Thank you. Thank you, Annette. That was very brief and straight to the point. I saw Eric Otieno. I believe that he was already asked his question. Thank you. Someone else on the panel? Andrew, now you can unmute. You can maybe close your video. Asante sana. Now heading back straight to the debaters. You have, okay, John Ohisa Oduho. John Ohisa Oduho, would you like to come to the screen and ask your question? Because I may ask the question, maybe bring a different meaning altogether. John Ohisa Oduho, if your hand is up, I can pick it. If you can hear me, John Ohisa Oduho. Yes, John Ohisa Oduho, you are on the call, sir. John Ohisa Oduho.
Bondo, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well. Go on, sir.
Okay, very well. I have a very brief question. I know we are at the speed of time. So, as much as we're talking about corruption, what happens to those who already have well-pertaining cases? And have we done to make sure that they have been convicted for their crimes as a way of deterrence to the rest? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John Ohisa Oduho. Vincent Ouru, you are on the call, sir. Vincent Ouru.
Intellectual property protection.
Hello, can you hear me, guys?
We can hear you very well, Vincent Ouru. Go on.
Okay, my question goes to Lennox. Yeah, I've been listening to him. Lennox, he has stated and agreed that actually billions are lost per day or annually, but he has not stated the best ways. According to his point, I have not here in any way that he has stated that apart from that demonstration, the best ways to use to fight corruption. According to his side, I have not had any point.
Thank you. I believe that has been well heard. Zamzam Abdul Kadir, you are on the call.
To the opposers, Lungashi had spoken about technology. How many times have we gone through things like Huduma centers and all the rest, and we find that they're not working, the systems are down. So give us a sure way in which when we want to curb corruption, there won't be anything.
Thank you. Thank you. Now the question session is over. Asanteni sana. Let's come back to the panel. And I think because of the size of the questions, instead of giving you 3 minutes each side, and because of the technicality that we had at the beginning, I'll give you 5 minutes every side, because we expected maybe 1 or 2 questions, but now the questions have come more than what was expected. And because we believe in debates and we love debating, I mean, let's debate and make the change that we want to make. So may I start with the proposing side? You know how you can go about it. If you have your 5 minutes, you can choose to do 2 minutes, 30 seconds each, or one person can tackle all the questions. Who is going first from the proposing side? Just raise your hand up physically. Okay, Wilda. Wilda, you are, Wilda, I think you are on mute. Yes, Wilda, go on.
Okay.
Are you doing the 5 minutes or are you doing 2.5 minutes?
I'm doing 2.5.
Okay, your 2 minutes, 30 seconds begin right now.
Okay, I just want you guys to understand that I'm not here to fight with the opposers or other people. What I'm just here to do is to shed light as to why people should be involved in fighting corruption and the power of the people in fighting this open secret called corruption. Someone asked that Why did I use an example of South Africa, yet it is listed at 69 in the most corrupt state in the world? I use South Africa as a good example in demonstrating the power of the people in making things work. Yes, things may not work 100%, but at least 10% can make a change. Rest in peace, Baby Pendo. Was Baby Pendo killed by a citizen? No, it was the police who killed Pendo during the protest. Now, because the police and the government know the power of the people in making things work, that is why they always interfere in demonstration and kill people, disrupt things so that people cannot express their views and their disagreements. By initiating demonstration, we are not fighting with the government. We just want to tell our government, come on, wake up. We want transparency. Wake up. We want accuracy. We are not fighting with them. We just want them to be accountable. We just want them to be transparent. One of the proposers talked about petition. The recent petition, the opposer, sorry, the recent petition that was made online, it was signed by millions of people. But did that petition showed any result? No. Talked about the IT. Yes. You know, Kenya is one of the countries in Africa that is very perfect in using the technology. Do you know we are using technology even more than the USA? Some of you don't know. Technology is there, but the people have made this technology for their own advantage. People have made this technology in order to bribe. People have made this technology in order to steal money from us citizens. So don't allow us to just sit here and keep quiet and see how everything is being manipulated and expect me, Wilder, who I have contributed in this tax, to just keep quiet and let the government take its course.
Thank
We're
you.
talking about following the legal ways. That is the court. What has the court done about the corruption cases in their table? They have just kept quiet. The NYS, nothing has been done. Come on, let us just open our eyes and see that we are not fighting the government. We just want the government to wake up
and be accountable.
Fighting corruption, because we cannot fight alone. We also need our government in fighting this corruption. So we can collaborate.
Thank you, Wilda.
Doing demonstration. Thank you.
Thank you. Linux, go next. I've already unmuted your call.
You will never walk alone. I want to say I am really tired. Tired of the fact that even in this light of day, we cannot yet see the dangers that we're doing to ourselves. There's no greater harm than harm caused by a person to himself. Now, Christine Musandu asked a very, very clear question. Where then, in the constitution, in the laws of the land, do we see the issues on demonstration? I want to address first that a protest is an individual or a collective expression of oppositional, dissenting, reactive or responsive view, value or interest. A protest is not walking out in the streets with stones. A protest is not waking up and picking up clubbers and going out in the streets to fight the people, to destroy cars of people. I want to give you a very clear example with the YDS protest we had staged. We walked out peacefully. I was there with you in spirit. We walked out peacefully and marched. But what happened? The police. And who are we to question the police? Are we as citizens? Yes, we are entitled to question them. But did we tell them, hey, look, come, we are going to protest? Even with the notice and with them being there to protect us, they still went ahead and implied violence on us who are protesting peacefully. Koiza's question was, where are the points then? We are fighting corruption. Then what are we doing to fight this corruption? The only way we are going to fight corruption, my friends, is through civil protest. Wilda said that we need to wake up. And it's true, we need to wake up. At this point, I'm even crying because We are a multitude of about 200 citizens watching this right now. We cannot see the sense in us waking up and actually marching out there, because a civil protest doesn't have to be violent. We are brought up with the notion of violence in our minds. We are brought up with the notion of always fighting for something, that whenever you hear of the word civil protest, you think you're going out with clubbers, you're going out with stones, you're going out with marching, you're going out with the God mentality and everything of the sort, because this is not how we protest in this country.
Lennox, your time is up, sir.
Just look at the perfect example of protest. Look at the great man, Martin Luther King. How was that protest?
Thank you.
A peaceful protest that led to fruitful success.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Let's go to the opposing side. I don't know who is going first as a speaker, but even before we go to that, it's just important also to appreciate those who are following us online, because you are also part of this amazing debate. Without you, we cannot make this the debate that we wanted it to be. So I'll just go through very fast some of the messages which are coming in and some of the comments from the comments section. Those who are joining us from home. There's someone here saying, Feiji, I love the way Derek brought it. Our demonstration is not the sure way, since there are many other ways to fight corruption. Okay, then Sandy Kenneth came back to say, it is Article 37 of the Constitution that states, every person has the right, peaceably and unarmed, to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions to public authorities. That's the comment section. Asanteni sana for joining us wherever you are joining us from. And now we head straight to the next speaker. That is to the first response from the opposing side. Derek, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Allow me to pick from what Lennox has said, just to help him understand what he's talking about. You have mentioned something to do with Martin Luther King, who led a peaceful protest. Martin Luther King led a peaceful protest. Later on, he was killed. Martin Luther King led a protest to fight for the rights of the Black people in the United States of America. Today, in the United States of America, the Black people are still denied several opportunities in a land that is their own. Martin Luther King, after his death, J.F. Kennedy was shot dead. Allow me just educate you guys. We are not saying that we don't like demonstration, but it is not working, and it is not working. Let me go straight to the question that was highlighted to us. Zamzam asked whether these systems are going to work because they keep on failing. Let us first of all not say that our government has failed in totality. Most of us have used Huduma numbers. We have gone to Huduma Center, not Huduma number, but we have used Huduma Center. Today, if you lose your ID card, you can easily get your identification card within a week. That is something that is happening. We understand at times systems do fail, but we are saying, how are these systems working as of now and how they used to work before? Today I can go to Huduma Center and my birth certificate, if lost, can be processed within a very short period of time. Systems, yes, can fail, but we are saying technology has improved efficiency in our country and you can easily pay your services through this system. Somebody asked, that is Annette, are we not advising a system that is going to take a decade or a century, like it's going to take long? Let me tell her something. Change doesn't happen overnight. And our proposers are telling you that they will go to the streets, demonstrate peacefully, and alas, our government, our leaders who have been looting will all of a sudden start to worship God. They will start to do the right thing. That is not what we are saying. We are telling you to engage civilians. We are telling you to engage human beings who are voters in our country to understand the right to vote for the right leaders. The other person asked, there's another question that was asked, whether legislation can be, whether we can be able to fish out leaders who are banking their money in other countries. And this is what we are saying. Number one, civic engagement. We are going back to who is voting. Number two, when we are saying we are bringing our systems to be efficient, we are saying everything that you're doing as a government officer is going to be seen on the limelight. And lastly, to remind Don who asked this question, there's something on leadership and integrity. That is chapter 6 of our constitution. And it clearly states how a leader is supposed to conduct himself and what he's not supposed to do as a leader. So you can read more on that. And if you cannot read more on that, we can engage you on civic engagement so that next time you can elect the right leader in our country. Over to you, Lungashi.
Thank you, Lungashi. Your 2.5 minutes begin right now, Lungashi. Lungashi, if you are here, your mic is unmuted, Lungashi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well.
Allow me to state kindly that the Kenyan police or the average law enforcer responds to minor incidents with excessive violence, which eventually aggravates any crowd that comes to protest. I've asked the proposers to show me a successful protest, and I'll give them valid data on the Kenyan youths and citizens who lost their lives in this process. My point is to insist that we can empower Huduma Center to deliver the services that we want and eventually improve the system. The fact that you have to wait a long time to get your passport and even have to pay extra money, it doesn't have to be the case. Why don't we just make everything legal and make a legal system where you can have things done faster? And also on petitions and IT, it is about time that we encourage the youth to let go of this apathy they have towards the government. We have this system of thoughts where we think that politics is only for the older generation, but it's affecting us, and we need to put resources to encourage the youth and to make public awareness. The way we do for elections, we go and educate the youth on how to vote. We should also make it clear that it is possible to understand how your money is being spent. I even want to urge the government to have like a 1 month course for all the Form 4 leavers, where you can just go for 1 month and learn how the system works, the corruption system, the financial system, and get to understand how it works. We do not understand anything. We are a generation that is left to wait and say, as long as I don't die, I'll survive. To Wilder, I did not say that petitions have not worked before. I say that it's a method that we can use to improve the system, and it works, and we can use the applications to send the signatures, and as long as the process is legal. I do not want to lose any more brothers or men or husbands to this war. It is about time, and we are tired of the bloodshed. Why can't we just have a peaceful system? We are tired of fighting. That's all I have to say. We are tired of fighting this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorcas Lungashi. Dorcas Lungashi, the passion in the voice can be felt and can be heard. Asante sana for coming and eventually making it. Though we cannot see your face, but we can just imagine the face giving those points. It must be such an amazing looking face, yeah? So, to every speaker on the panel, the 2 speakers from the proposing side and the 2 speakers from the opposing side, I want to give you just a small break to think on how to convince us within 1 minute through the closing statement why we should believe that your side is the side that should be taking the day. As you think of that, of course, that now we are heading to the closing statement section, allow me to take this humble opportunity to recognize some amazing faces in our midst here today. Mr. David Ngugi, if you can hear me, Mr. David Ngugi, let's welcome, or let me just introduce you to these amazing young people on the panel. I see Mr. David Ngugi, seems like he has left from the panel. So then we have Mr. Kavulavu, who's Wilder's teacher from Tigoi Girls, that is in Western Kenya. Mwalimu Kavulavu, if you can hear me, Mwalimu, if you're okay with turning on the video or even turning on the audio, that will be fine, so that you can just say hello to these wonderful people. You've mentored Wilder as a debater and as a public speaker, and she's very proud of you. She made sure that you are coming to this discussion today. Mr. David Ngugi, if you are still here with us, you can unmute and talk to these amazing young people. Mr. Kavulavu?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, maybe just a minute for you just to say something about the debate.
Okay, I'm Mr. Dixon Kavulavu. I was the teacher of Hilda Magenya at Tigoi Girls, and I'm currently a teacher at Mbale High School in Viga County. I like the way they're debating. Most of them the debaters have the grasp of the content, and for their facial expressions can show you that they know what they're talking about. I would like them to grow their skills as they venture into this debating business in future, and grow their capacity to accommodate and also make others be able to mentor some to become more good debaters as they are. I like the way they're putting themselves on task and rebattling the points. And I wish the winning team the best. Mago Wilder, go strong, continue, and God will bless you.
It's amazing, huh? Wilda alikuja na mbogi yake. Asante sana mwalimu. Thank you for joining your student on the panel. Christine Musandu from the African Heart Foundation. Just a few seconds for just to say something about this debate. Christine Musandu, you are on the call.
The debaters are good evening, everyone. My name is Christine Musandu, a business coach and fashion consultant. And what I would like to say about the debate, it was really well articulated with good examples. I know because of the rush of time, sometimes we cannot give all what we had aligned to present, yes. However, I would just like to encourage them to, if this is the path they enjoy, they just have to find ways of also improving their skills.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christine. Now back to the debaters on the panel. The debaters on the panel, who do we start with? Is Wilda Nyagoha here? Wilda, are you going first to give your closing statement? Yes, okay. Wilda, you are unmuted, so go on.
You know, as a lady, I go through a lot.
And that is your 1 minute, kindly. 1 minute.
Imagine sleeping and waking up and pimples all over my face. So I have to go through the struggle of using these products in order for my face to be smooth and impress my husband.
Allah.
So what I'm trying to say is that we have to allow the government to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in that government. We are not trying to fight them. What we are trying to do is by telling them, oh, you have to keep going with the clock. You have to keep stepping. You have to keep working. You see, we are not fighting them, but we are just trying the government. Come on, wake up. We want accountability. We want transparency. And let me tell you, demonstration will be a sure way. We are not being violent. By saying demonstration is a sure way, I'm not being violent. It's just one of the simplest way of being heard. Because honestly, I won't just go to the parliament there without being an MP or a politician and being allowed. So by using my social media platform, Facebook, where I go by the name Wilda Shamim, it will enable me reach to thousands of people outside there, and they will join me in the call of fighting corruption. That is what I want to bring to attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to the first speaker. First speaker, the opposing team. Who is going first? Is it Lungashi or Derek? It should be Lungashi. Lungashi, you're on the call.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well. Go on.
Dear Kenyans, civil protest and demonstration is an old method to solve new crises. You see, my grandmother cooked her ugali with 3 stones and some firewoods. My mom cooked her ugali using charcoal at some point, and I, just an hour ago, cooked my ugali using a gas, and it was done within 10 minutes. Civil protest and demonstration is like using an old map and hoping that it will take us to new lands. I refuse to allow to lose any more young people in this fight for corruption. We have lost so many lives, and it is about time we step up and use better methods. Violence has never been the answer. Protest does not work, and since the proposers have failed to show me examples of successful protest, I believe I have convinced you that other methods are viable and there are methods that are preferred. With those few points, I allow Kenyans to ponder and think of how many people we have lost already and how many have been maimed. And we should say no to this. And we can do it. There's another problem, but we can succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Lungashi. And thank you for helping me confirm that indeed today you took ugali, which is a very good thing. And of course, a very, 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 very important meal in Kenya. Over to you, Lennox Kimathi from the proposing team.
My name is Lennox. Kimathi is my name. And once again, I'm here to remind you that all this while, the opposers have been actually proposing the motion. Just think about it. The tactics applied by Martin Luther King, who my friend Were actually achieved a lot and died for the sake of the black man. However, with what followed next, Black lives always matter. The tactics applied in civil protests and demonstrations are: one, non-violent boycotts. Number two, freedom rides. Number three, voter registration drives. Number four, sit-ins. Number five, people engagement. I don't know, you gave it a really fashionable name that sort of clothed it. However, all these are parts of civil protest. And my people, it is the soldier that gets tired on the battle line that makes us lose the battle. Lungashi, I'm sorry that you are tired of fighting corruption. But for you as a soldier to get tired in this battle, then you are not only failing your grandmother who cooked ugali few years ago, but you're also failing your great grandchildren who will come after you, because they will meet an ailing nation, a sick nation, a nation without a future. We need to make ourselves better. We need to solve these. And the best way, the sure way, the fastest way to do this is to make these people uncomfortable in their comfort zones. Because not until they are uncomfortable where they are seated will we get redemption.
Thank you.
To hell with corruption.
Thank you. Derek Were, you are the last speaker of this debate, and of course the last speaker from your side. Derek Were, take it over. Your 1 minute begins right now. Derek Were. Okay, just a moment, Derek. Sorry. I noticed that okay, go on. Now you can unmute.
Thank you so much. You can hear some of the terms used by our opposers or our proposers is war terms, military. That the only way for us to survive is to die on our feet rather than to live forever on our knees. All we are saying is that the call that has come to us today of civic engagement, using technology, collaborating with those who are frustrating us, is the same call that came to Nelson Mandela, that he believed the only way for us to come and rescue South Africa is through dining with the same people who took us to the dogs. And all we are saying today is, ladies and gentlemen, we are not asking us to protest. When we hear of protest, we know businessmen fearing because they have to close their businesses. Our proposers are saying protests are peaceful. Let us come to Kenya. We know protest. Let us stop using examples that do not exist in our context. And it is time, ladies and gentlemen, we have to learn new tricks to fight new ways. And the only way for us is, the only way to assure Wanjiku, the only way to assure Wilda that she can have a smooth face is to tell her she can send a petition to the government, that she can be engaged in a civic engagement where she can learn how to vote for the right leaders. She can understand the integrity and leadership, chapter 6 of the Constitution. She can understand more about this in choosing the right leadership. We are advocating for modern ways to solve our modern days issues. All we're advocating for is a coexistence of all of us to protect our lives, to protect our property, and to protect a nation that was hardly fought by the likes of Dedan Kimathi and our grandfathers and our forefathers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've given you all the permission to unmute your mics. Kindly just unmute and clap let's clap for each other. It has been quite an amazing discussion. Just clap. Let me feel, let me hear, let me hear all of you clapping for each other, because I think this is very important. You've done a very good job. Derek, you're unmuted. Now we can clap. Let's clap again together. Let's just clap for each other. It has been quite an amazing discussion since the time we began up to now. It is now over 1 hour, so we had to take that direction because there are a lot of issues that came up and a lot of concerns that came up, and it would have been very wrong to leave without addressing these issues. The question tonight that I've been asking ourselves, yes, we all agree the issue here is corruption. What is the best way to fight corruption? Is it going the direction of civil protest and demonstration, or taking the direction that the opposers have proposed to us? To you, the person who is viewing from home, viewing from wherever you are, the decision. And I think also you have, you have a very big voice and a say on this. We want to leave this discussion to you because it's also very important. We don't do this debate just for the sake of debating, but we are doing them to change how people think, to change how people are deciding to do things. Now, to Derek, thank you so much. Derek is a debater and joining us from Nairobi. Lennox joining us from the Meru County. Wilda joining us from Nairobi. Lungashi also joining us from Nairobi. And also in our midst here in the audience section, allow me to recognize the presence of the debaters of last week. That is Annette Akoth and Jeremy Atambo were on one side last week on a motion that was saying, let's lower the retirement age to 50. Then on the other side, we had Mercy Vugursa and John Ohisa Oduho. Until we meet again next time, we'll let you know what is coming, but keep conversing, keep the conversation going down. We can't discuss these matters once and for all. To everyone watching, asanteni sana for joining. For those who have shared the link, who have commented, who have liked, who have chosen to share with other people, to put it on their status, and everyone who shared the posters around, asanteni sana. You've made this debate possible. I've been your host, Okoth Opondo from the Campde Voices, and a very warm and a happy and a good night from the debate team and the debate night.